Hello, by the way.
In a dusty shack high in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it was tough work round dirt and bluegrass songs. Sweet hickory filled the air, Daddy's love was hard to bear. If I knew how rich I was, I'd not have gone. Yeah, but the city called my name, and I came running with my young man's hopes and my daddy's old guitar. I played the dives and paid some dues, singing every tune I knew, and them homesick ones I sang the best by far. Now I've seen the sun go down on the streets of New York town, and I've watched it from the hills of old Virginia. Beauty's what the eye beholds, one man's dirt, another's gold. Oh, but sometimes the grass is really greener, yeah, it is. Well, the record company man confessed he liked me, but he'd had to shave a few rough edges down. Cut my hair like Brooks and Dunn's, trade the banjo for some drums, 'cause no one would buy that old high lonesome sound. Now I don't know just what this deal has got me. I gained not a fan and I lost the ones I had. I've worn my heart right through my sleeve, singing a song I don't believe. I believe I'll go back home to Mom and Dad. Now I've seen the sun go down on the streets of New York town, and I've watched it from the hills of old Virginia. Beauty's what the eye beholds, one man's dirt's another's gold. Oh, but sometimes the grass is really greener.
I'll take another one.
Well, in a dusty shack high in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and when I die, it's on this farm they'll lay me down. And the hills will hear my song, 'cause it's there that I belong. Man, you just can't shake old roots from the southern ground. Well, I've seen the sun go down on the streets of New York town, and I've watched it from the hills of old Virginia. Beauty's what the eye beholds, one man's dirt's another's gold. Oh, but sometimes the grass is really greener. Sometimes the grass is really greener.
Thank you. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One song to the next. So professional.
Swinging doors in Whiskey River, the first words I learned to say. Willie Merle, all those outlaws, was all that Daddy'd ever play. These beer joints where I'm working, I started working at 16. Now if I look a little ragged, must be those 30 years between. My first single hit the big time. For a while there I was hot. I can't recall the early 90s, and these last 10 I'd rather not. There are mornings when I wonder what I can show for all my time, but I sure can sing with feeling. Whiskey River, take my mind. This honky-tonkin' way of living, I've been living way too long. Excuse me if I'm late for heaven, I just lived a country song. Now at this Super 8 in Reno, a couple screaming through the wall. I'm laying in my jeans and dreaming about a girl in Omaha. But that's been 30 years and counting, at least 30. I can't go back there anyhow. I've hitched my wagon to a heartache. Lord, I'm sleeping with it now. This honky-tonkin' way of living will make the weak out of the strong. Don't tell your troubles to me, mister, until you've lived a country song. When that lost highway finds you, them family ties won't bind you, no matter how your mama may try. Just follow Hank down that highway till you feel it when you say, I'm so lonesome I could cry. This honky-tonkin' way of living, I've been living way too long. Excuse me if I'm late for heaven, I just lived a country song. And if I never get to heaven, it's 'cause I lived a country song. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out tonight. It's our pleasure to be playing here at one of America's great venues run by the excellent Jackie, David Fernie, the Arcata Playhouse. Thank you for coming out. And how about it for Jenny Scheinman, Arcata's pride and joy? I did notice the rate at which the tickets sold out to this show, and that got me a little alarmed. I want to point out that most of the material we're doing tonight is going to be written by myself. We're going to do a couple tunes of Jenny's and mix them in, but I'll pause here for a few seconds for anybody to leave that wants to leave. There might have been some ambiguity in the advertising, but we are both here, and we're going to hear this unbelievable, legendary fiddle playing all night long and singing. Jenny and I have been working together for, I think, about 13 years now, on and off, and so that's, this is our lucky year. Year 13, toward the end of the pandemic. Thank you for risking your lives and coming to the show tonight. We really appreciate it. You must be very desperate for entertainment, and We are similarly desperate to show off for people. We've been sitting at home. Or when did you get out? And were you out last year a little bit?
There was a moment, right? Yeah, I got out for a moment and then went back home. Yep.
Fall? Yeah, same here. I got out a little bit in the fall. And then this year, were you out in January? I'm guessing not.
I'm getting confused.
It is now February.
Oh, right. That was really recent.
Yeah. It was like 2 months ago almost.
December, middle of December, something happened. Omicron, right? And that happened through January, and now we're in February. Yeah. No, I wasn't out in January.
There's always
at all.
something horrible happening lately, I've noticed. That's a nice thought. Your children are here tonight. Front row seats. You feel a little exposed in the front row? Would you rather be midway back, maybe? Or is this good? This is good. It's good. I'm going to keep aiming a few remarks at you as we go along, so get ready for that. I've got some zingers for you, Rosa. It's going to be good. Got some quips I've been working on. So anyway, we have, well, I think we're out of time now, so good night. We have a bunch of different, I make up songs, as Jenny's mom noted once. She said, well, you've got certain themes you hit a lot. She said, you have a lot of drinking songs, she said. And yeah, woo, I agree. That is a theme that I work a lot. And there's 3 or 4 other themes. And but a theme that I hardly ever work is the theme of love. And that's the theme of this next song. So if you like love songs, Jenny's got one in a little bit, and I've got this, and that's it. That's it for love. And this one goes like this. Baby, I'm a-comin' as fast as the law will let me. If it wasn't for the money, I'd never leave you alone. Being close by you just lifts the whole world from me. Your arms are my home, sweet home. I try not to wonder where I would be without you. I just glide along thanking each and every lucky star. Since you came to me, I'm all done searching. 'Cause I know nothing could be sweeter than you are. Sweet as the laurel, sweet as sugar cane rum. Girl, you're just as sweet as sweet comes. Sweeter than bluegrass in the warm Kentucky sun. Baby, you're just as sweet comes. Couldn't find no love, no how, that was then. And now my heart knows the music like the poet's song. The way you make me feel inside, love don't have to describe. It's like a smile through my whole body. It's like honey on the tongue, sweet as the Lord. sweet as sugar cane rum. Baby, you're just as sweet gums. Sweeter than bluegrass in the warm Kentucky sun. Baby, you're just as sweet as Another theme I got going on pretty strong in my songs is music. That's a theme. I like music a lot. Don't like love so much, but I like music. Kind of aged out of the love category a little bit. Get more into the music. The music always kind of stays fresh for some reason. That's an evergreen. Way down the road from Nashville on the Chickasaw Bluff, where the fruit is always fine and the weather ain't rough. It's hard to tell the high and mighty from the rank and the fine. And fashions alter often, but Memphis never falls from style. From the Ohio River to the Natchez Trace, some sleepy southern towns are just a basket case. Oh, Birmingham ain't been worth a damn for a long, long while. And the hipsters go for Austin, but Memphis never falls from style. Now, don't shush when they shout, nor scold when they drink. They got their own way of living. They don't care what you think. The local wisdom says the key to success is working just a little and worrying less. Thank you, Memphis, for the great insight that music is a drag if it's too fucking white. Now it's BB on the guitar, Booker T and Big Star, and Louie on the radio. Yeah, the soulful blues were awesome, so Memphis never falls from style. It's a cop. You want danger, they got as much as New York, plus the blues and the bluffs and the barbecue parkway down the road from Nashville where the big muddy flows. Linda Gale Lewis is from there. What else do you need to know? Ain't no other city will. Each passing pretty girl greets you with a hospitable smile. Yeah, simply 'cause it's awesome that Memphis never falls from style. Oh yeah, man, it's just 'cause it's awesome that Memphis never falls. All right, well, we got this is another category, memory songs right now. It's memory. As I finish my 6th decade of life, I find a lot more memory songs, almost no love songs. How about that? And I'm enjoying life more than ever, I guess. Sitting around remembering things. Which is to say, inventing things, I guess. Sitting around thinking about the 1970s and thinking, that couldn't have really happened the way I think it doesn't make any sense. Life couldn't have been like that. But maybe it was. This is a tune when I was kind of a youngster, or say 12 to 17 anyway. I was living over in the, I think I was talking about this with a lady earlier, over by the concession stand where I'm selling some of my fine records. And Jenny, you got some records over there as well? Thanks to Andrew for bringing those.
Last minute delivery, yeah.
I can't remember where I was in that sentence. It was like a complex sentence. Yeah, memory. Where am I here? I'm in B flat. All right. So North Carolina, 1970s. There was I don't know, it was a weird scene, and there's stuff that shows up in this song that nobody's gonna know about, except, 150 people still left alive that happen to be that age down there at that time. But there's a mall that comes up in this song. There's some proper nouns that I just put in this song for the hell of it, because they mean something to me. And, one of them's that guy Tommy Thompson. He played the banjo when I was a kid. He's long dead now, but he was in a group called the Red Clay Ramblers. There was music down there that that we knew real well, that seemed like celebrity music to us, but that if you drove 100 miles in any direction, nobody'd know what the hell you're talking about. But Tommy and a few other people like that were kind of important to a guy like me thinking about doing music. It's like you look at celebrities, people you admire on the stage, they seem hopelessly distant and on their own plane. But if you can go to a guy's house, see banjos on the wall, he's taken down playing music, and take an instrument, play along, and then you see he's gone on the weekends, making a little money, comes back, he owns his own house. He's like a normal person, you know what I mean? And a kind and generous person as well. You see an example like that when you're young, that makes a big difference. It's not all like, you know what I mean? It's not all like the Eagles and all that nonsense. It's like regular people playing music in the living room. That's still my favorite kind of approach to music. So anyway, this is a song from the point of view of somebody down there from that neck of the woods and that time frame. And this person keeps thinking about leaving, but kind of never quite does, like a lot of people that I went to school with down there. It's called Fare Thee Well, Carolina Gals. Those little slim gals would swing their feet down the airport side of Franklin Street, and I'd watch them in the not quite innocent way I'm looking at them this evening. Thinking about the plans I put on hold while the town got smaller and the days unrolled. 2 stories told, and this one's about leaving. I remember Katie, then Rosalie. I was pressing my luck when I tried for 3. Some shrink from a shameful deed. Me, I'd do it gladly. If I hand you a line, girl, you know it's true. If I give you a couple, then it's yours to choose. 1 story from a total of 2 has got a good chance to end badly. So fare thee well, Carolina cows, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. I was just a lad about 8 tall, sniffing that glue in the Northgate Mall, down where the increments say you all, and kindness is a show for strangers. All them B-school boys and old hippie men, sweating in the sun to no clear end. I made a medium to poor boyfriend and a pretty good house painter. So fare thee well, Carolina cows, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Heart couldn't be hewn like a simple phrase in a well-made tune. Well, Stackley'll sound good on the moon. You don't need a cane chair or a hound dog. He'd sing the blues. I just smiled. I was such a calm and settled child, thanking the Lord, never dreaming the while he was laying out my downfall. So with my hair in my eyes and my chest out swelled, I stood on her porch and I buzzed the bell, peeking round the blind, knowing full well that her folks had gone to Boston. They mean quiet when they say lights out, but that was love making and it made me shout. Daddy would have come home fast, no doubt, if he knew what the weekend would cost him. So fare thee well, Carolina cows, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Escapes my mind, don't worry honey, that's just the wine. Second thought, it's not the wine, it's just me talking. We men pour out our problems like we think that they're unique. They cheer when a baby starts to speak. They should give them a prize for stopping. Baby, don't you be too surprised if I cash in the farm after Mama dies. Get a Cadillac and just ride till the Pacific meets the bumper. Stop looking at me like I've lost a screw, like things had to lead where they led to. With the house half gone to kudzu, I'd be lucky to get a clunker. By luck I landed in the upper south. By God, I gotta make my own way out. I should have read the signs by now. I should have heard the locusts buzzing. Poor old Tommy Thompson's dead and gone, and I've been feeling not so strong. Chapel Hill never did me wrong. It was fine until it wasn't. So fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Anybody like the bluegrass music out there a little bit? Everybody but the children. That's the way it always is, you know. The old folks love the bluegrass. And they're like, yeah, give me more of that. I'm working on a record. It's all bluegrass music, and it won't be up for. Yeah, I'm so fun. Well, it's challenging, but it's fun. Players on it, and I honestly have trouble keeping up with the with all those guys. But I'll do you a song and maybe one in just a moment later from that record that we're working on, the bluegrass songs. And this one is goes back to the theme that Ellen identified so correctly, the drinking theme. And so also it brings into the field. It brings in Los Angeles, the city, which is where, for reasons unknown to myself, my wife and I moved about 3 years ago, and we lived down there, and I always thought I would hate LA, to be honest, and we hadn't been there too long. Is anybody here from there, by chance? Yeah. Do you like it, or are you happy to be gone?
Happy to be gone.
Happy to be gone. That's the impression I had. I spent like a long, I've been on 25 years, you'd go into LA once a year to do a show, and either land in LAX, drive down from San Francisco, and see these ugly boulevards with these down-on-their-luck people, and scruffy, ugly, and big billboards everywhere with the latest pop stars, like, oh, get me out of this place, it's a nightmare. But now that we live there, it's like anything else, you know, you can't really like get an impression of a place just driving through a lot of the time, you know. So we live in this neighborhood. It's a neighborhood of horse farms, of all things. So every morning I wake up. Well, Jenny was over the other day, and we went through the routine together. Pick some oranges off the tree, squeeze a fresh glass into the juice there, take my morning pills, open the blinds, and watch the ladies cantering on the horses across the field. Beyond them is the LA River. Beyond that is like a small mountain. Griffith Park is basically like a little mountain beyond that. That's frickin' LA, you know, I'm in, you know? It's a pretty good scene over there. It's a healthy little scene we got going on. Maybe we can walk like 2.5 blocks and get a fucking latte, you know? It's amazing. It's best of both worlds. I'm sorry, I said fucking, excuse me. Are you guys the only kids here tonight? The 3 that I see right in front? Or is it just studded with 5-year-olds back there? Anyway, I'll wash my mouth. Sorry about that, but it really is urban and rural, the best of both vibes over there. And this is a song that I made up one day while I was sitting around watching the horses. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sitting on the front porch, face toward the hill, trail of years behind me, and a night I had to kill. 1 glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. Staring up at the mountain like to drive me mad. The mountain never changes, so I guess I better had 1 glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. the money and I put the plan last. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. These LA bars are frankly small town bars are rough. I don't need no more unkindness. The memories enough. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. And when I feel I'm sinking low, I reach for the first friend I see. All I need is to look at him and know he's sinking faster than me. Well, life gets stranger the more it goes on. It's a wonder how I worry when nothing's really wrong. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jenny Scheinman. Jenny Scheinman over there.
What do you think? Should we do a love song? Maybe let's just get that one out of the way.
Get the love done with?
Get the love done with.
All right.
47. I'm almost there where the subject completely changes, I guess. I'm not entirely too old to sing a love song, and this is kind of a complicated love song. It's a little bit more about love than to somebody. You know, it's not a me and you kind of song, exactly. You got that drop D thing happening over there, Robbie? Oh yeah, that's drop D right there. It's one of the things I know about guitar that feels kind of fancy. If you were my brother, would you love me more? If you were my brother, would you love me more? Would you stand by the bed? Would you touch my hand if I asked you to? If you were my brother, would you pick up the phone? If you were my brother, would you pick up the phone? Would you fill me in on some little daily things? This road, it winds and winds and winds. Wildflowers bloom and then they fade away. But if you were my brother, you'd want to know for sure. If you were my brother, you'd make perfectly sure that no other man would ever push me around. And if you were my brother, you'd bust me if I lied. If you were my brother, I wouldn't even try, 'cause you'd be the proof. So what would be the use? Lovers come and lovers go, but will you stay through hail, sleet, and snow? we're trying to find the car. Listening to the street lamps, they're creaking in the wind. It's a lonely sound for a lonely town. But if you were my brother, it wouldn't be so bad. If you were my brother, you wouldn't be half bad. So stay by the bed and touch my head. Touch my head and love me that much more.
Tonight we're taking, well, she explained it, it's not so hard to understand, I guess. Taking a 15-minute break, and I don't have a watch or anything, but I'm guessing that it is current. Don't tell me. I'm guessing it. Did you say 7:35?
Yes.
Oh, I was so on it, man. Yeah. Uncanny, really. We're gonna do one. No, we're gonna do more than that. We got a 45-minute set. Excuse me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. We're gonna do 14 more songs and then take a short break. So hang with us here. I think I want to do you another of those bluegrass songs from the record that I mentioned previously. And this is this refers back again to the 70s. You know, if you were a kid in the 70s as I was, you turn on the radio and all this interesting, I don't know how interesting it was, music would come on. Big bands on the top 40 then had names like Ambrosia, and Hughes Corporation, and Kiss, and Hamilton Joe Frank, and Reynolds, and Don McLean. I thought, I'm not into this music. I don't know. I thought it was a low point in popular music, about 1973, 4, 5. But interestingly, at the same time, there was radical and interesting and wild new stuff going on in the field of acoustic music, bluegrass, or bluegrass adjacent music, I guess you would say. And there are all these scruffy-looking characters emerging about this time. And whereas before, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, the bluegrass music of that first generation had guys in string ties and hats, and they came from, you know, weird places, you know, Crib Death, West Virginia, these places out in the middle of nowhere. And it was great music, but it wasn't like culturally in tune with a hip kid like myself. And suddenly, all these young bands emerged, and they kind of dressed like me, and I thought, oh, these are my kind of people. And they gave a wider window into this world of bluegrass music. So what am I thinking here? This is the key of A, and this is about all that. And I didn't mean to diss Don McLean right there, but actually I did mean to, because word on the street is Don McLean's a big jerk. I don't know if you've heard this. I don't know for sure, but I'm spreading it around. And, I read it on the internet, and the guy at the club last night where we played, they said, yeah, we had Don McLean here. He was a big jerk. We don't even have him anymore. He's such a jerk. So, you know, tell your neighbors Don McLean's a jerk. Jenny had a protected kind of a childhood. She was protected from Don McLean and had never heard the song Starry, Starry Night, a.k.a. Vincent, before this afternoon on our drive here, which is a really enviable position, because she was able to evaluate this song with fresh ears. And whereas, you know, she had just heard me mocking the song earlier, and she's like, stop mocking this song. Let me hear what it really sounds like. And I said, I'm not mocking it. This is what it really sounds like, what I'm doing. It's Starry, Starry Night, Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out for a summer's day. With eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hill. Paint the something and the whippoorwill. La la la, the moonshine stills and la 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 da 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 da. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me. How you suffered for your sanity. It sounds something like that, right? But we something like that. But we listen to the real thing. And you actually, you were offended, I think, retrospectively by my version. You like this song, I think, yeah? Well, tell.
I did. I like the song. I first of all, how old was he when he wrote it? Like 20 years old or something?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I mean,
You're never too young to write dumb songs, I think.
I don't know if he was a big jerk back then. I think he was just, feeling things and, Song for Vincent, Starry, Starry Night, poetry.
Let's get a taste of the popular sentiment. How many are pro Don McLean in the house? Clap.
Let's see. That's not very many. I wouldn't say I'm pro Don McLean. I'm not like going out and campaigning for him. However, you are anti Don McLean.
Fiercely anti-Don. How many are
This
anti?
is a campaign, y'all. This right here.
How many are anti-Don McLean? Let's hear that. Ooh, I'm in hostile territory. Love it.
Can we do this with the band Rush?
She wants to do this with the band Rush.
The band Rush. I'm really confused by that idea. The band Rush? I actually don't know anything by the band Rush. I only know these like gentle voice songwriter people. The guys with the gentle voices and the puppy dog eyes, they tend to be bad people. Stay away from those people. Stay with the real gruff, plain-spoken guys. Sit down, I'll sing you a song. It's about Vincent Van Gogh. Shut up. That's the one I want to hear. Anyway, sorry, I got totally off course there. This is about the bluegrass music, and this is a true song. Every word's true. Daddy packed a van full of camping gear. Mama filled the ice chest up with beer, and I rode shotgun all the way up Route 15. I seemed every picker in the USA. I landed in a Culpeper field that day. 50 years gone, I'm still grooving on that scene. There was old men doing the buck and wing, young gals skinny dipping in the spring, while the singing and the fiddling and the feedback filled the air. While Mom and Daddy were getting fried, I was sitting there with my eyeballs wide, coming straight at me off of the stage. It's like a demon with a hypno ray, stealing my mind away. It was that long haired bluegrass, setting my young spirit free. Yeah, that long haired bluegrass, a little rough and shaggy, but man, it spoke to me. Yeah. Hey, what's it matter how a fella looks? If the song is true and it's playing cooks, I might have known that, but I was just a dumb old kid. Those hippies knew Bob Marley note for note, and they didn't shove religion down your throat, and I was pretty sure they smoked dope like I did. There'd have been police and pepper spray if a few old-timers had had their way. Miss Wilma Lee Cooper looked a little unamused. Oh, but anyone with ears could not deny. Blake on the guitar, Tony on the vibe. There was something in the air for sure. It wasn't all peace and make love, not war. No, it was something more. It was that long hair and bluegrass. That was the sound. 73. Yeah, that long hair and bluegrass. Boy, it swept the sound. It swept over me. Modulation. Clarence White, that's a name I adore, and John Hartford. Just to drop one more and don't forget the nitty-gritty Vander Scruggs and his sons, Mr. Dave Grisman and Ian Monroe is still a king. But now the church has a new wing where an outlaw like me can feel at home, singing that long hair and bluegrass, the way that Sam meant it to be. Yeah, that long hair and bluegrass. Well, it wasn't all the greatest songs, and the solos were a little long, but it spoke to me strong, and it still speaks to me. Long hair bluegrass, I remember it well. Long hair bluegrass in the moonlight. Long hair bluegrass, can't stop now. Singing that long hair bluegrass. Well, it really went away. Long hair bluegrass. Yeah, let's hear it for that. Really, that's kind of a nerdy song. So if you don't know those quotations in there, it's probably meaning. But I referred to Sam. That was Sam Bush, and that's one of the bigger figures in that little scene of Long Hair Bluegrass. And he plays on my version of that. So I can't wait to for it to come out. That'll be out in about 15 years. So look for that. All right, we'll do you guys one more and then let you go. Let the air out of your tires, whatever you do, over the 15 minutes. Like I said, we both got records for sale over there at the table. And I think that's that's young Mackenzie. I'm trying to remember the name now of the lady selling the records. We got Tim working the sound tonight. How about it for Tim over there at the soundboard? Let's do Money for Wine. Let's do that one. Tim, I would actually take just a touch more of my guitar on the monitor, if we can do it without my blowing up the joint. We'll do this song here, and a lot of these songs, they don't really sound exactly like the record version, so many customers are disappointed. Of course, buy the record, they hear all the drums and the steel guitar and the very slick production that's on my records, and there's nothing like, you know, they heard us do with the guitar and fiddle, say, at the show here. Really a lot of disappointment there, but this, I would just want to point out that this song here, it was guitar and fiddle on the recorded version, and it was us two playing those instruments. So this one, if you like it, do buy the record. It sounds just like this, what we're going to do. And thank you, Andrew. And we'll send this out to lovely Lois, who's here tonight, and I'd like to dedicate this to her for no other reason that I'm happy to see her. So this is in B-flat minor, and it goes like this. Cord in the crib won't turn your dollar green. A dollar won't get you high. Some days a drop is all a body needs. Some days the bottle drains dry. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade your money for wine. Well, I've seen your towns from a long black Lincoln, boys, back when copper was king. 10 years I stood on the same street corner, boys, I never won anything. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Dollars don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I trade money for wine. Wild were the nights when I was rolling, boys, no hunger unsatisfied. Beard was my name in Elko County, boys, now they just walk on by. Banker, he spares a quarter for my brother. His trouble's deeper than mine. That way of life, boys, there ain't gold enough. I'll trade money for wine. Now see how the rain washes the sulfur dust off to the wide blue sea. Free from the rock, the copper flies to where no miner ever may see. Shallow your cares in vain, your industry, so says the wide blue sea. I never burden God on your account, don't waste your prayers on me. I've seen a man of wealth and family scrimp till his hair's gone gray, laid in the ground just like I'm gonna be. He might have drunk it away. Pockets of change don't hide my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade money for. A red-tailed hawk sat watchful at the faded edge of day. The phone poles and the pines rose from the scoured clay. The sun was slipping toward the Gulf in its own good time, and you would not think of death if you drove on past the signs. The old men at the roadhouse weren't too polite to stare. Where we come from wasn't home, and we were far from even there. The camera around my neck drew suspicious eyes to me, but we were not there to talk, we were only there to see. And when their faces had said nothing, was then I stepped outside, and in the instant I knew I would not forget the sight. Alabama at night, Alabama at night. Took the wheel up 119, I scanned the road ahead, trying to let all I could see cover up all I had read. That hotel would not likely let a working man lie down. Like a current through its walls ran the sorrow and the sound. And I knelt down to let it in me, sure it would come if I gave it time. And I fumbled amongst 100 words, but words don't do it right. Alabama at night, Alabama at night. Words mean nothing, but what 1,000 others say they might. Through sunlit rooms the wealthy walk, and the pale unshaven men to stand before each frame 5 seconds, maybe 10, and to unveil all the maker wanted to portray. But I'm not there to talk, and if I were I wouldn't say. Across the rough-cut branches in the wide gray-shadowed sky, a child not far from birth, with the end etched in her eyes. The morning star above her and a hymn upon the breeze, but pours no sacred song, poor is a disease. And no hand reaches down from heaven, no one denies it might. So patiently we wait here as onward it rolls. Alabama at night, Alabama at night, Alabama at night. Thank you very much. We're back for a second set of Pure Pleasure right now, and that was Alabama at Night from the Grammy-losing but nominated album Upland Stories. Hope you guys had a good break and came back thoroughly cleansed and refreshed, and because we saved most of our good material for this set. We really did. I think you'll notice an uptick in the quality as we go on. I don't really know if he's a jerk for sure, but one of the things that I heard, because I don't know, sometimes they live stream. I guess they're live streaming tonight, as a matter of fact. And I just they tell me that in advance, and then I forget about it. And I was thinking, well, I'm playing to these 70 people or whatever it is. And then the other night, by the way, hello to whoever's watching on Mars or wherever that is. I was playing in Houston the other night, and I went on some Don McLean rant. I insulted so many people at the show, and I forgot that it was, going out. And but I got off stage and looked at the phones. I thought, oh, God, these people have Venmo'd me money. And then I looked at Facebook. Wow, there's like 500 comments there. And there was one really strong fan of Hamilton, Joe Franken Reynolds, that had a comment about that. And then as far as Don McLean, I got a phone call a couple days later from a friend over in Boston that said that, he told me a little anecdote that, I'm sorry if you like him, this may turn you against him, this story. They were doing this show over there in this arena. It was full of these old-time acts, Don McLean and like 6 others. And Don McLean was to go last because he was the biggest star. Well, it turned out not a lot of people showed up for this event, and it was a pretty big venue, and with 10 people in it or something, and act after act. And the act before Don, he was really hopping mad by this time. He wanted to go on. He wanted the other guys to stop singing. And he came back to the production team, where a mutual friend of myself and the man telling me the story was working on the sound. And Don McLean just read him the riot act, and he said, "People didn't come here to hear this nonsense. Get this guy off stage. I want to go on right now. I'm what they came to hear. Vincent." And all my other one hit. Anyway, he yelled at him for a while, and then the sound guy got increasingly agitated, and finally the sound guy said to him, "Don McLean, you shut your American pie hole," he said. Whether you like him or not, I thought it was a funny story. So we're going to do a song right now about the great state of Virginia. Did somebody tell me they were from Petersburg? Not St. Petersburg, but yeah. It's going out to you. Goodbye, Virginia, your green battleground. I worked at beer joints, Winchester on down. Now there's 10 women wounded, 2 good trucks gone. I burned up my good luck, sung my last song. So it's goodbye, Virginia, so long. I left my home in Floyd County. I was young and a flame. With a dream and a dreadnought, I'd soon make my name. But you can't make a living on a song and a prayer, and the men in those barrooms are too drunk to care. So it's goodbye, Virginia, green battleground. I worked your beer joints, Winchester on down. Now there's 10 women wounded and 2 good trucks gone. I burned up my good luck, sung my last song. So it's goodbye, Virginia, so long. In some northern city, there's a straight 9 to 5. Give me paper and I'll push it, a truck and I'll drive. But no more I'll return to the land of my youth. 20 years of hard country's too much of the truth. So it's goodbye, Virginia, your green battle up, sung my last song. So it's goodbye, Virginia, so long. Well, goodbye, goodbye, Virginia, so long.
You guys were really around in the 70s. You might remember this guy. He was really big back then, bigger than any of the celebrities I've mentioned so far, and we were all into him. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. He was really big back then, and I was a very prayerful kid myself, really into the Christian worship when I was young, and my parents were, they were kind of, I guess what you call spiritual, not really religious, but we looked around for a church we could agree on. We ended up at a Unitarian church for a short while in Waynesburg, Virginia. And yeah, my folks were kind of into the Unitarian thing, which is no hymns and no preachers and no beliefs. I was really surprised that you could even have a church service based on that thin reed of nothingness, but every week, different speakers would come in. And oddly enough, one speaker came in one week who looked to me exactly like Don McLean. Would you believe that? I didn't set the show up with that in mind, but this is true. He had that same, well, anyway, you know how he looks, or looked in 1971. And this guy, I don't know, whatever he said, I can't remember a thing he said, but it really impressed, not my parents so much, but my mom. It really impressed my mom. My mom really liked what Don McLean had to say, his whole presentation. And, so the next morning, we loaded up the van and went to live on his commune. True. And so we got out there and set up a tent. So now we're living in this guy's commune, Don McLean's commune out there in the woods. And I thought, well, this could really go badly. This could really wind up in a terrible place. What have these elders done to me out here in this field? But it turned out nothing bad happened. And like we were only there a short time. In fact, we were out the next day. My dad and Don McLean didn't get along like at all. And they had some sort of religious dispute, and then we drove off in a huff. And that was the end of that story. Kind of a nothing burger of a story, but it always stuck in my mind that there was something unique about that era and its approach to this the religious mentality. And even though I've let go of the faith a long time ago, I still have some mixed and some fond memories of that era that will now make manifest in this following song. It goes like this. It's all about that 70s Jesus who was so shack off of the bypass, no steeple and no stained glass. We parked our VW van in the grass alongside, greeted old friends in a soul clench, then sat down on that oak bench and sang out to the heavens, he's alive, live, live. Yep! Believers who came after, I hear your scornful laughter. The man that caused our rapture was the gentlest of souls. He was the peacenik archetypal, and we were proud to be disciples. And when he said, I am the truth and the way, then we said, yeah, man, anything that you say, what a far out feeling, just to look into those big brown eyes. 70s Jesus, ever understanding, he was a brother, a rock and a sword. 70s Jesus, soft but commanding, he was a straight talking, water walking, earth shaking son of the Lord.
vest. Mama had a do-rag on her head. We bowed our heads to summon our Savior's second coming when we'd run wild in the streets and we'd go jam with the dead. Our creed was jubilation. Sorry, that's Grateful Dead right there. Our creed was jubilation. No hellfire nor damnation. We just banged our little tambourines or go march on them all. And Grandma had no patience for our scriptural translations. She just had to be glad we had religion at all. 70s Jesus, a true sensation. On up to Reagan, he was rocking the land. 70s Jesus, with his cross of day glow. He was a freak flag flying, good time redeemer of man. Yeah, Jenny. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. And now that age is just a capsule in time, but I pray my children will be lucky and find a peaceful prophet who is sensitive and groovy like 70s Jesus. Let his love prepare you for your sweet eternal reward. 70s Jesus with his Brampton hairdo. He was a laid-back, wine-making, earth-shaking son of the Lord. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 70s Jesus. Thank you very much. As Don McLean would say, thank you very much. All right, Jenny, what you got?
Okay, let's
Reach
see.
deep into your bag of song. And are we going to drop D again by any chance?
We are.
All right.
Yeah, that's part of my thing.
I love that key.
Well, nice to see you all. It's been great to spend the last 2 years mostly here. You know, most of my life I've been, never in one place for very long because I've been touring, and the shutdown really changed that. And it's really, I was talking to Robbie about some of the people that were going to be here tonight, and he said, it really sounds like you've got a richer community here than, other places you've lived. And it's true, and I credit the shutdown, partly. Yeah, I've got some really good friends here. Really good young musicians here, too. Yeah. The front row is stocked with budding musicians. The Hattons. The Hatton family band is here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys related to Rondo Hatton, the movie star of the 40s?
I think so, yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
You think so? Anyway, so I'm going to do a song. This is a song from the perspective of one of the people in my elementary school. Some of you may know that I grew up in Petrolia. The elementary school there, K through 8, was, what do you think, Greg or Dick? What, maybe between 20 people and 60 people, depending on were there ever 60? Maybe 20, 30 people from kindergarten through 8th grade. So, all of those characters really were like legends. They had so much influence on the group. And one of them was kind of a bully. He was from a big family. All of the kids' names started with SH. There was Sherry, Shari, Shane, Shannon, and Sean.
And Beaver.
And Beaver. I think that was after my time, really. Something must have really changed. Oh, a silent S. Yeah. Is that the silent P, like in swimming? That's one of my dad's jokes. Sorry. Get it? A silent P, like in. Have you ever? Yeah. Sorry, Robbie. This is really. person here. I'm not supposed to be telling jokes here. Okay, so anyway, this song is from the perspective of one of those people in that family, Shane Miller. Some of you may know of Shane Miller if you read the Lost Coast Outpost. And anyway, he was a bully in my school and had a big influence on the vibe of the playground. And to people that knew him, not too much surprised that he turned out the way he did. And anyway, this is a song from his perspective, though. I don't think it's a real judgmental song. I was trying to get into his mind as he was hiding out in the Mattole Valley, listening to the caravan of cop cars coming into the valley to look for him. When the night comes and the shadows are gone, when all the bats from the rafters have flown, I'll be right here in Ceanothus and Oak, high above the valley I once called my home. That's my old school with the old iron bell. There winds the road up to Jamie Cattell's, just like a parade rolling in from the sea. The whole county's sirens are singing for me. Don't ask why. Why, it's just a breeze, it just passes on by, picking up garbage, blowing dust in your eyes. True life stories have no reason nor rhyme. An old dirty punchline sound new every time. Everything's hushed and everything's slow. Every little star seems to glisten and glow. Lay down my head in the shale and the scree. They might find my body, but they'll never find me. Don't ask why. Why, it's just a breeze, it just passes on by, picking up garbage, blowing dust in your eyes. True life stories have no reason nor rhyme. An old dirty punchline sound new every time. True life stories have no reason nor rhyme. An old
try you one that we haven't played this since. We were over there in Ferndale doing a show. Was it 2 or 3 years back? 3 years maybe? Not long before everything went to hell. Well, it was a while before that. But was there anybody there at that show over at that church? Really? Boy, we really appreciate you guys coming back for more. I hope we're not doing too many of the same tunes, but this one, like I said, we did it that night and haven't done it since, but it's one we like doing. That Jenny sings real well, a song from probably 1929 or so.
Single girl, going dressed fine. Oh, going dressed fine. Married girl, oh married girl, where's your city kind? Oh, where's your city kind? Single girl, going where she please. Oh, going where she please. Married girl, oh married girl, a baby on her knees.
Baby on her knees.
Oh,
A baby on her knees.
single girl, goes to the store and buys. Oh, goes to the store and buys. Married girl, rocks the cradle and cries. Oh, rocks the cradle and cries.
Thank you very much. I think the songs are better when we don't rehearse them and just leave them sit for a couple of years. I think they're a little spunkier that way. I think we're gonna let, again, I'm gonna guess that the time now, I know this is very unprofessional, I'm gonna guess the time is 8:40. Is that close?
No. 20 minutes.
9:03. 9:03? Jesus.
You already did that one.
We're gonna do, we're not gonna stay here too much longer. We gotta get home and watch Emergency 1 or whatever's on tonight. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. Chad Everett is on tonight. I love playing for an older crowd, I really do. We're gonna play a tune right now about my great aunt, and she played the banjo, and I too played the banjo as a youngster. I brought a banjo, in fact. And, just as window dressing, more or less. A little touch of onstage authenticity right there. And, I don't know. There's these two styles of. Stop me if you've heard this story before. There's these two styles of banjo playing. In America, we've got the claw hammer where you do your hand like that, and then we've got the 3-finger, or the scrug style. And there's a couple other little variants, but those are the two big ones. So when I was a kid, the scrug style was super popular, and Earl Scruggs was still out and pretty young and playing, shows. And then my aunt, who was like 1,000 years old, the one day that I met her, super old lady, she played the clawhammer style. The thing was, to keep the story brief-ish, the thing was that day when my parents dragged me down, they were like, "Hey, show her your banjo style, Robbie. This is your great aunt that was 1,000 years old and makes folk records and travels around playing the banjo. She was a known figure in that folk community, and so I played her the banjo. But she thought my banjo playing was really shitty. Frankly, she didn't say shitty. She just said it was bad. She said, "Put it away. You don't have the talent for the instrument, really, and that's not the way to play it. I'll show you the right way to play it after lunch." And then I thought, geez. After lunch, she brought out this banjo that looks much like the one on stage, and she started playing this old school clawhammer style. And to my ears, it's like she. In the Bible times, Shape at Salmon Ham were all there were 99 on the boat that went down. Lord, they all drowned. Jesus, this is awful, you know. She thought my style was bad. I thought her style was terrible. I didn't say anything to her. You know, I was 9 years old. You don't speak to your elders about that stuff. I just held my tongue politely. And before long, this old dude, about her age, came in with a fiddle. And boy, if I thought the previous thing was terrible, heard it with a fiddle. I was like, unbelievable. Can you do what I'm talking about? Like she's doing. In the morning. Like that. Little darling. I just could not believe. And what I really couldn't believe was what I found out later, that they were newlyweds, these two. They had just gotten married. And the guy who was my great uncle had been dead quite a while. But you know how it is when you're young. I mean, you guys are young, you know what I'm talking about. You see these like 9-year-old people getting married and stuff. You're like, no, don't do that. Don't make me throw up with this stuff. I don't know what I thought about these sexual things when I was a little kid. I just thought that sex is not for old people, you know, that's like ridiculous. Now I've totally changed my mind about it. I'm really into elderly sex now, but watch the Golden Girls every night, love it. Great show. Anyway, this is another one of those songs where sort of every word is true. Every word except the name of the lady I changed for, I don't know why, just the word Peg sounded better for a name. I called her Peg in this song. Her real name was Stella. But here we go with Aunt Peg's New Old Man.
We came up the hill to meet him in the dirt patch he was weeding. That was our first look at Aunt Peg's new old man. Now Uncle Hank was 75, he lived well and then he died, and none of us had nothing against her new old man. She liked his fiddling, no doubt, like his help on the rural route, and the rest didn't bear thinking about Aunt Peg's new old man. We sat down and we got fed a long grace, but what a spread! The chicken was just an hour dead and the stew was made of barley. I pulled out my banjo after a while, but he didn't like the scrug style. Listen up, boy, this year's called Going Down to Raleigh. Going down to Raleigh! Texas gales hit my ears like an awful wail. I wish I could hear it again. Though he had no use for the modern stuff, his back was strong, his hands were rough, but he rocked her old age. Sure enough, Aunt Peg's new old man. made the rounds. Gay likes to Rocky Mountain tunes. They knew no one could count. It was all in their heads and their hands. And you could do worse as a widow than to find a man to spade and hoe and raise a little hell with a long bow. And Page knew old man. Yeah, she liked his fiddling, no doubt, liked his help on the rural route, and the rest didn't bear thinking about. And Page knew old man. She liked his fiddling, no doubt, liked his help on the rural route, and the rest I don't want to think about. And Page knew old man. Yeah. Thank you very much. Jenny Scheinman on the beautiful violin.
It's unbelievable that you get to play with people like this. I just can't believe it. One day, this is a day like, I don't know, probably 18, 17 years ago. I'm sitting around listening to Jenny Scheinman records, and a little bit later I'm meeting her, and a little bit later than that I get to play with her, and it really is. Dream come true doesn't even quite describe it. It's just like, it's just great, that's all. We're going to leave you with this one tune right here. The slightly ironic thing was that I've made fun of my aunt and the clawhammer style, but as well as elderly sex. But like elderly sex, I changed my mind about the clawhammer style later in life. And I went to a banjo store. We were passing through Zebulon, North Carolina one day in 2009, and so there's a banjo store there, which you don't see everywhere, just on every highway stop. A store with 200 banjos in it, and I picked out this one here, which is good for the like that clawhammer style that I mentioned, and I sort of undertook at whatever age I was, 40-something, to try to learn the style. And the style is, for me it was hard. Maybe it's just because I was older, but to make your hand in the claw and first of all, when you do it okay, like I'm doing it right now, I'm not doing great, but it sounds so good to me. It sounds like the perfect use of this instrument. But to learn it, it's almost like, it's so counterintuitive, if you've tried to do it, it really takes a while to get the feel of it. But I'm not a great banjo player by any means, but the banjo is very addictive, and the style is very addictive. And so I sat around a lot during the lockdown, just strumming the banjo. The neighbor's like, what does that guy do for a living? Passing by. And just like, woo-hoo-hoo. It's really addictive, but I made up this little tune on the banjo, and this is what, like I said, I'm trying to write these true songs now, even if they're not about my life or experience or whatever. There's like, I want them to be true. I think this song is true, and it's simple, but true, and we'll leave you with this one. Church bells sounding, dark clouds on the mountain, dog in the pantry acting strange. My old man's calling each day, new problem, only the worrying don't change. Bolt on the back door and a rocker on the porch, where I rock my cares away. Hearts fall, troubles rise, hopes dim and rain dries. Old time music's here to stay. Plucking on the 5-string keeps my hands from my bling. It takes me back when I was young. When I see some hobo picking on his banjo, I'd plug my ears and run. music's here to stay. Use this in your mind for what it weren't designed for. It's a good way to go insane. Me, I kept letting this thing half of what I pressed in my poor unwilling brain. When those old songs get down in your bones, you just let your fingers play. Oh, much makes you humble. Everything built just crumbles, but old time music's here to stay. So I bolt the back door and sit down on the porch and listen to my fingers play. What kills joy and sorrow? A little thing called tomorrow. Time music's here to stay. Hearts fall, troubles rise, hopes dim and rain dries. Old time music's here to stay. Thank you, guys. Sit down, everybody. That's great. I'm glad you brought us back. That was a little morose to go out on that song. Let's go out on a faster song. And anybody that we forgot to say hello to, give a shout out to that came. Julie came.
Julie came.
Both Julies came, didn't they?
Oh yes, did Julie Fulkerson come too?
Hell yeah, she did.
Hell yeah! Did Lindsay Battle come?
Did Don McLean come?
We have some members of the Mud Stompers here too. I
Yes, we
think.
do.
Yeah.
The Mud Stompers are laughing at themselves. We'll leave you with this one. This is a sort of a travelogue of this guy, jerky guy. Not Don McLean, but the world's full of all sorts of jerks. This guy is a malcontent. And he travels around. The song takes him from Texas up to Brooklyn and da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, it's not too morose or serious. You can just listen to the fine fiddle playing and forget any of the negative implications of the lyrics. It's one from our record, Gone Way Backward, and thanks again for coming out. I'll be hawking my ware. I think we'll both be hawking our wares over there at the table with young Mackenzie in about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So thank you again. Well, it's ryegrass in the wintertime, flowers in the spring, but Texas in the summer is nigh on suffering. I went up on Jackson Hill at a diner, I sat down, and I waved at every stranger just to move the air around. It's a long ride, oh, the little I gain.
What's the song? Hey, when I left that Brooklyn girl, I never thought it through. She had silk brocade in her bedroom and a job that paid for two. I think I'll get down the old guitar and see what I may find. Get $1 off some lawyer on the number 7 line. It's long to ride for the little I ain't. These New York folks will treat you kind when your wallet's in your hand, but a 6-string on your shoulder might be the devil's brand. They'll put themselves above you, but for all their strut and brag, I'd trade every brick on Wall Street for one Black Mountain rag. It's a long ride for the little I gain. A little girl that stole my heart, and I think she'd like to know. But the road goes but one way, and the only goal in sight is to make a bit more in the daytime than I drink down at night. It's a long ride for the little I gain. They say the Norfolk girls are fair and they all sing right on key, but I went down and I never found one sang as good as me. And they say that there's a wondrous land for any good man that dies. Well, if it's got drink and women, well, then I'll be surprised. It's long to ride for the little